It's the boy Gleesa Faye, creator RKU, and today we have Jazz from a band named Hickory in the building. Woo!
Woo!
She's a very special friend, special guest. So tell the people out there where you're from, what you do, what's your age, what's going on
I'm
with you.
from right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I am 28. Yeah, I'm a Libra. My birthday is October 14th, so I will be 29.
Okay.
Yep, my birthday coming up. I'm thinking about doing something, but I don't know.
Yeah, y'all should definitely do something for sure, for sure. Put something together. Put something
Yep.
together. Okay. Got a couple questions I'm going to ask you today. Are you cool with that? You cool with that?
Yep.
She's ready. She's excited, y'all. A little nervous, but it's all good. It's all good. So tell me a little about your musical beginnings.
My musical beginning. So I kind of started making music, I guess high school. My brother had a MacBook, so I kind of learned how to use GarageBand. We had a class project where we had to use the vocabulary words from the Great Depression and make a song.
Mm.
So that's kind of actually what made me feel like I could produce, like, like make music.
Mm-hmm.
But I have been making up my own songs forever.
Right.
Since I was like second grade.
Okay. So it's like you started with. I mean, you were already singing before though. Like you were singing before.
Yeah, I sung at church, but I was always like too shy. So I really just sung to myself until I felt like I got myself to a comfortable singing position.
Mm-hmm.
I moved to Houston. I went to school out there, and is where I kind of was like, okay, I got more serious because I actually started like um, writing the songs to beats. Where at first, like before that, I was just writing music to melodies in my head.
Right.
So when I moved from when I moved from Houston to Baton Rouge, is where I got in the studio
Right.
with Chris Plain from a band named Hickory.
Oh, that was your first time,
Yep.
It was your first time
I
in the
had made
studio.
songs. Yep.
Okay. Okay.
I had made a few songs, but yep, my first time in the studio, and that's where 1014 Avenue came out, my first album. But I had pretty much wrote all of those songs in Texas.
Okay. How was your experience in Texas?
Um, it was fun. I was in college. Yeah.
You felt what's like the difference between going out there and living over here?
So the difference there, I guess, was like, it was more jobs for me. I met like a totally different kind of people I had ever really experienced.
Right.
That's pretty much what was different. Like, it was bigger. So like traveling was like, far. So you kind of stay in your circle bubble. The marijuana out there is better. Whereas out here, like, you kind of got to get lucky and find.
You got that dirty out here, huh? You got to
Yes.
have like an outer plug, most likely, to
Yes.
get some good stuff for sure.
Yes. Out there is just out there.
Okay. What is your main goal in your music career?
My main goal in my music career is to create a lengthy catalog. That's my main goal of different genres. Like, um, yeah, I would say that's it. Like a large catalog to look back on. Like, I love Lauryn Hill, and so in her catalog, I have Miseducation and some unplugs.
Mm-hmm.
But I want so much more, and so just a large catalog.
Do you feel like okay, for one, how do you want it to translate to the people that listen to you, your fans and stuff? And because for me, I want my kids to kind of listen to me if they, you know, if they don't feel like they know me, maybe they can listen to my music and they kind of like
Yeah.
get some that are listen to me talk on these interviews and kind of like, okay, this is how Papa was and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
how do you want it to like impact the people that listen to you in your next generation basically?
My target is women, right? And mostly women who grew up like parentless, you know, either, well, mostly mainly motherless, because like
Mm-hmm.
both my parents are deceased. So my whole music catalog, or like what I'm trying to do with music, I can intentionally say it has no relation to my own daughter.
Right.
It has more of like women who grew up like, who, you know, lost early and then grew up and are now kind of like really trying to figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
but really trying to be strong, but
Right.
really it's just not. And then so it's always this gap, because I feel like in my music, like the things that I talk about, I feel like I'm cryptic transparent. So like if you listen and like you kind of really hear what I'm saying.
Right.
And a lot of the things that I feel like a woman like me goes through, you can't really talk about it like how you want to. You got to find a pretty way to talk about things.
Right.
So I just make my music for women. I want, when women listen to my music, I really just want them to feel themselves, because it's like when I listen to music, music from women who I like in today's time, like my I guess my newest person who I listen to is Mariah the Scientist. And so first song I put on from her, when I listen to it, I'm automatically like, because I'm a creative, I'm like, who wrote this? What was
Right.
she thinking? What was going on in her life? Why does this all feel like, you know, me? Like I feel like I'm listening to me outside of me, going through your own experience, but you don't want to talk to yourself the way you need to talk to yourself.
Right.
So you put on a song, you know, and then you listen to it and it's like, damn, that's what I haven't been talking to myself about.
Which skill or skill have helped you perform effectively as a musician?
Perform on stage.
Perform in a booth or recording and on stage.
Um, like not being so critical.
Mm.
I'll do recording, then I'll do on stage. So I'll be like recording, and then it'll be like I'll do like a million takes, and
Right.
it's like I don't like none of them. Delete it, delete it, delete it, delete it, delete it, and then like because the producer never deletes it, and so you go back and listen. You're like, oh, this actually do sound good.
Mm.
I do
Right.
like that. Not being so critical, and on stage is just like what I use for me on stage is just long as I can hear myself.
So as long as you can get that sound, that good sound, and
Yeah.
you receiving it well.
Yep. If I can hear me, because you know I play with live instruments, I have a drum, a bass, and a
Mm-hmm.
guitar,
Right.
and it gets loud because it's coming out of a PA too, also. And if I can't hear myself and I have to get loud or to hear me on the speaker, then I'm out of key or something going on. I'm not breathing at my pace, so I gotta breathe extra or breathe less, and then ain't nothing, and then it ain't coming out the way I want to. And so
Right.
then you look back at your performance and you're like, damn.
Right. What do you think separates you from other artists?
I don't compete with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I my like because I'm a salesperson, I know not to compete with other people.
Mm-hmm.
When I first started off in sales,
What do you sell?
I sold a lot of stuff. I went door
Oh,
to
just
door.
okay.
I did
I
cars.
I remember y'all was just selling.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm just a salesperson, but it's just like it because you got peers in the same lane of like what you're doing, and like so when I did try to compete, I always failed. So maybe that's what it could be. Other than that, I don't really know. You know,
Okay.
it's nothing that I do to myself or put inside myself to make sure I'm separated from the rest.
Do you feel like you compete with yourself?
Yes, and I'm
Yeah.
very critical.
Could you describe your favorite and least favorite part about being a musician?
Um,
We're gonna start with your favorite.
my okay, because I was definitely about to go to least. My favorite part about being a musician is being able to bring my words alive to a melody to where I can sing and play back and listen. Um, Meeting people, like I meet a lot of people through it.
Making those connects.
Yeah. Um, those are my favorite parts. I like bring because I'm a writer, so I like that my words get to come alive.
Okay.
My least favorite part about making music, I guess, will have to be the promotion,
Hmm.
promoting it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm good at promoting a brand. It's just when it comes to myself, back to what I was just saying, like, I'm super critical. And so
Hmm.
it's like I really need everything to look like a certain way, and
Right.
it's a holdback because it's like if it don't look like that, I'm not gonna put it out.
Yes. Yes. I,
Quality control.
I do feel like what I was gonna say, I fucking forgot. Yeah, sometimes I almost feel like I'm begging people to
Yeah.
like, hey man, and I'm just really just asking them and just asking for support. But I know most people don't give a shit. You
Right.
gotta make them care. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? You gotta almost shove it in their face, like,
And I feel like as a woman, you gotta try to make people. You gotta make women want to be you, and you gotta make men listeners want to be with you. And
hmm
because I'm not super competitive with that whole agenda, it's almost just like listen to my shit. Like
right. You
it's
might if with it, you know.
yeah, like and even then, just listen to it,
Right. If you don't like it, then you can do whatever you
if you
want
don't
with it.
like it, it ain't for you,
Right.
but
Facts.
listen to it.
Facts. Would you rather have everyone you know be able to read your thoughts, or for everyone you know to have access to your
I
internet history?
definitely don't want. They can have access to that internet. They can look at my internet history from today on back. But they can't know my thoughts.
Not mine. I'd rather them know my thoughts. I do feel like it'll be almost impossible to kind of like lie or be disingenuous because people know what you're thinking.
Right.
So I do understand that.
Nah, but my thoughts sometimes go left and right, and I'm not able to grab a thought. And so, just imagine being in a room, like everybody can hear your thoughts,
It's tough.
versus like yes, my search history, like. But that's really because of the stuff I look up on the internet. I mean,
hmm
it ain't nothing in there to be ashamed of.
I think
Oh, we
girls and
human.
guys in that history differ a lot. Like most guy would say, "Yeah, I would let people hear my thoughts because
Yeah,
you do not want to hear you do not want to see my internet
I think
history."
guys have it way more mentally together than women.
Yeah,
That's just my
I feel like
observation.
if dudes knew that people would hear their thoughts, they'll try to adjust, but women just be like, "I don't give a fuck,"
Right.
in their head, like y'all gonna listen to this shit. So I kind of get that.
That's a good question.
That's one of those hard ones. What is your favorite part of music making, writing, or recording? And what part of the day do you like? Night, evening, afternoon, or
I
just
like
early in the
recording at
morning?
night, actually.
At night?
I really like it to be dark when I
Yeah,
record.
yeah.
My favorite part is recording because I don't really spend much time writing. If it's like if it's a song that just comes to me, like today, a song just came to me. So I just, voice recorded that one part. But
hmm
that's what I like about it, like the song forming part of it. Like, like you get a couple words in your head. For me, as
hmm
a writer, singer, I get a few words in my head, but they already come with the melody.
Right.
And so I like to record it because I like to add in those ad libs, and then you hearing all the ad libs that make it what it is, that bring it together. And you got on headphones, it's saying something way back here, and over there it's doing something, and
hmm
it's all together in the middle.
How do you make time for music?
um I don't know that I selectively make time for music. I think music is a part of me before I even much understood.
hmm
So, like, example, right? I always talk about this, but my older brother locked me out of the house, and I was at the door, and like I was knocking or whatever, but they ain't let me in. I had older brothers, so that's just how that junk went. So I'm like, I see that they not coming to the door, and I'm like, I think I'm like second grade or first grade at this point.
hmm
And I just started freestyling. I'm like, my brother's always, I don't remember, but I know I remember the part about my brother's always locking me out. And then whatever. And so he opened the door slowly, and he like looked at me and was like, that's really good. You got a gift. And I'm like, nah. And he always kind of like pushed that up in me. But at the same time, behind closed doors, I'm training myself how to sing because I
Mm-hmm.
have singers all throughout my family who sing beautifully, comfortably, like, you know, um, singing is a skill, right?
Right.
So like they got it down pat. Like they can sing. So, and then my mom could sing too. So being around all these people who know how to sing, and then I had words and melodies that just would come. I
Mm-hmm.
just trained myself how to sing. So all while like he's like pumping me up for it, and then I'm observing my cousins, and I'm observing music, artists who I'm like studying or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm training myself how to put the two together.
Facts. Facts.
Not feeling like I couldn't write for other people because I think I could, but I feel like I have to be right there next to somebody to write for them
Mm-hmm.
because it's a vulnerable process. Like you basically giving somebody how to think. If you ain't in alignment with this thought process.
How did you and Chris Plain meet? I always wanted to ask. I
I
don't.
mean, we went to high school together,
Okay.
and
Which high school?
a strummer.
Oh Lord.
Um, and so when I moved back here from Texas, he reached out and was like, he wanted to make music or whatever, so we linked up, and yeah,
Wait, he DM'd you or he hit
yes, he
you
DM'd. I
up?
mean, but Instagram was not even
Player,
Instagram at
player.
this time.
What? Oh, you was
Instagram.
on Instagram. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that's what must have been the beginning of Instagram for sure.
Yes, this is
Okay.
when Rihanna was the queen of Instagram.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I see you. I see you.
Like how Kylie Jenner kind of made Snapchat pop, Rihanna
Hmm.
did it for Instagram.
How do you feel about the whole Brittany Granger being locked up overseas and
Oh, they had something funny. It was like I don't know. I mean, I don't know whose story this was in, but they was like, because I feel like it could have been you. How Brittany Granger sleeps knowing that I'm locked
that
up,
was
and
me.
it made sense. I'm like, damn, that kind of makes sense. Like, but I just think it's messed up.
It is messed
I
up.
feel like she makes a lot of money. She should be able to get out of jail, right?
It's way different over
I
there.
know, and that's just messed up.
Now I do feel her for her, but me doing that, I just was. It's different aspects of it. From us being like normal people having to do everyday stuff to famous people. Like there's like you can have people doing it for because they want to be a part of something, saying something about it, or
Right,
just
you're a
want to be
conspiracy
known.
theorist, right? I'm a conspiracy theorist, so
Hmm.
I have a conspiracy in my mind already ready for when stuff like that happens.
Right. It's crazy. It's crazy. I do believe that there's people who go above and beyond for people that they don't even know.
Yeah,
They don't even know you exist. But from a perspective as far as like her being uh I feel like she's top 10, top
I
25.
had never heard of it before.
Damn. That's crazy because
I'm not into sports.
well that's most women not really into sports like that. The basic like superstars like Serena Williams
Right,
and the girl who does the track for
Gabby,
LSU, Gabby,
the
um,
gymnastics,
the gymnastic
gymnast, gymnast,
chick. But
gymnast.
other than that, there's not too many female athletes who get I don't want to say the recognition, but it's just not as popular as the male
Yeah,
sports and stuff like that. You
I
have to
really
be.
don't get why it's weird, but
Uh, it
in
has
relation to basketball, right? Because she's a basketball stuff.
that all has to do with revenue. Like they just
Oh,
don't
okay.
make enough money.
Oh,
They subsidize money from the NBA to kind of help them with their sport because one, people not going to the games, and two, it's just not as exciting. Have you ever turned down any gigs?
no.
You've done all the gigs.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, you got a record. Most people be like, yeah, I've turned down a couple gigs, but usually
I'm
I
not.
try
I'm
not to
not
turn
gig.
down an
I'm not gig
opportunity.
patrol.
Right,
In the band, we all have like roles. So like,
right.
my role is just to sing.
Would you rather have a mullet or a perm?
A mullet. I actually wanted one.
A mullet? That's crazy. That is a little crazy.
Rihanna had did a mullet theme style, and it was very cute. And
Yeah, because no, I don't think nobody wants a perm after people realize what perms do to your hair. What is the biggest highlight of your career thus far?
biggest highlight of my career so far,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've had one. Um,
So you haven't had it yet.
mm-mm.
But if you could
I feel
name
like
like
I
what's
haven't even launched off into my career, but if I could name
mm-hmm.
something, I guess it would have been like adding a because adding a guitar, drummer, and bass player.
Okay.
Because on stage, like when you're doing live music, you kind of need volume, and
Right.
so I never had intentions ever of being a performing artist. I always wanted to be a recording artist and just
Mm-hmm.
record music in the studio and put it out and record videos, visuals. Never in my like creation of what my career was did I see me on stage
Right.
performing. And when I did see that, I was older
Right.
performing music from when I was younger. But it kind of took its own path. So that I am on stage having the whole ensemble.
Could you recall the most fun you've had at an event, whether it was on stage or just watching other people, just interacting, just being there?
The most fun that I've had at an event. Nala, baby, you gotta walk behind the camera. I actually really had fun Saturday.
Oh, that last gig, I
I
seen it.
had fun Saturday. I never get to really have fun at events because I'm not going to say that I'm socially awkward or that I have social anxiety. I will say that when I get around people who I maybe have not introduced them to who I really am, I have to
Mm-hmm.
be quiet to maintain
Right.
whatever the reputation may be.
How do you deal with performance anxiety?
Um, so this is how I deal with it. I drink a lot of water. Cause that's what create. I ain't lying. That's what creates anxiety. Like you get to a show before, and if I get to a show before and I'm nervous, I definitely don't have. I'm not hydrated because as I'm like breathing and trying to gasp for more air to calm down, I don't have any
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not so hydrated. Come on, baby. And I don't think about the. I don't research the other performers. I don't
Mm-hmm.
try to get to know the other performers before the show. Like like who's on the ticket. I don't um I don't even think about it.
Right. You just be in your own
I
little
just
world.
focus on like what
You
would
gotta do.
make me happy about it leaving from it.
Mm.
So it's like what I'm gonna do with my hair, how am I gonna do my nails?
Right.
What am I gonna wear?
Right.
That's how I get rid of the anxiety. I put all that stress on how I'm gonna look.
Okay.
I mean
Okay.
that's vain, but I'm a Libra.
You just focusing on what you got. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? Sometimes I do feel like that helps rather than focus on everything else that isn't your job that you don't feel like your
Yes.
job, you know.
Yes. Because when putting together like events, like you're gonna lose breath because you're walking around
Mm-hmm.
the entire event, greeting people who've reached out before and making sure everything is right. So by the time you actually get to being on stage, like I said, without the hydration, like you just out of breath. As a singer, I'm sure as a rapper it's different.
Okay. Is there anything you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, I'm working on my album and
Solo
I'm
album?
solo album.
You gonna have like features on there, or you just?
Um, I have a feature so far.
I feel like the less features on the solo album, the better,
I know.
so they can just highlight what you got going on.
But I wrote a song for with a feature in mind, and so I can always go back and change writing. But yeah, I know for a fact I'm gonna have one. I'm gonna have one feature, and it's definitely gonna be a band. And I have a narrator, and I don't want to give.
Don't give too much out.
I'm not. I don't want to give it all out.
Your favorite genre of music?
I think it's indie R&B pop.
Indie, R&B, pop. That's
Like
a that's a genre. Like they or is it?
my favorite genre is like whatever Harry Styles genre is,
Mm,
whatever Willow Smith is,
mm,
um, and old music like Earth, Wind and Fire and Rick James. But I feel like all those are really the same thing. Like I know they call Harry Styles pop, but he's not really pop to me.
I gotta listen to some hairstyles. I've been hearing that name a lot.
Yeah, I love Harry Styles, and I know they put Willow in R&B,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not R&B.
Advice would you give an artist who want to do something similar to what you're doing?
Do it. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now. Do it now.
Is there anybody locally and then mainstream wise you want to work with? Uh-oh, talk your shit.
Mainstream wise, um,
Give me top three.
okay, Black
Oh,
or
okay.
Six Black.
Six.
I
I was
like to
about to
call him
say
Six Black.
I call them six legs for
Um,
show. A slack.
Chloe and Holly. If I can't get both, I'll take Holly then. Um,
Give me one more.
Willow.
Willow.
I love Chris Brown. That
Oh,
is my top favorite artist.
you gotta get the Chris Breezy
Yeah,
feature.
a video feature.
Be able to speak any language or communicate with animals.
Speak any language.
Yeah.
All languages.
You would be interested in like being able to talk to your dog or something, your cat,
I would
like.
love to talk to every human. I mean, every genre of human.
Mm,
I would
okay.
I would love to
It'll
talk
be
to.
easier to move around for sure
Yeah.
because America is like a melting pot of people.
When I was going door to door and I was in Texas, I met an Indian family and like they fell in love with me. They invited me into their house.
Mm,
And I put on like their their garbs, that are a part of their culture. And I washed my hands and my feet and prayed with them people. And then we sat down at a feast. This is
mm,
a regular day. This is what they do every day.
that's different.
And they just talked to me, and I didn't really understand much of it,
Hmm.
but I participated, and it just opened up my mind to like, it's not just black and white.
You ever talk to them like the Indian family, or you just
Who?
the ones that you met in Texas, the Indian people?
Did I take their number afterwards?
Yeah.
No. All those people I made connections with, only one person decided that it was mandatory to keep in touch with me.
Mm,
She was she was she was Caucasian. She was a white woman. She was a stay-at-home mom. She had a disabled child and two other children. And her husband was in the military, but he was like high rank and he was always gone. So because she would be under a lot of stress
right. Damn.
and anxiety, she started a business right from inside her garage, refurbishing old furniture. So when I knocked on her door, she wouldn't even let me leave and go knock on nobody else's door. So I spent my whole day with her, and a whole day out there in the field consisted from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I spent
Hmm.
my whole day with her. She made it mandatory that we kept in touch after it. So we kept in touch through Facebook, and so I saw her business go from a few like little pieces for people who she knew
Hmm.
to like now it's like fully furnished.
Mm, okay.
Um, but yeah, those are two different backgrounds of people. And I
For
was just
sure.
drawing a connection to like how you meet people and you may have like a very high experience with them, but
Hmm.
it's really only for that moment.
Right.
You're not really keeping in touch afterwards, but you'll never forget it. I'll never forget those two people
Hmm.
forever.
Yeah, that's some stuff you don't really forget for
Right.
sure. In what way do you feel like us as a culture, as a community, can improve? Like, because I know that we
Like
got so
black
much.
people or
Yeah,
like the artists? Oh,
like
black
black
people.
people.
How can black people improve? I guess just stop worrying about other races and just realize that we do have a culture. We do have an environment in which we actually own and We do have good food,
Mm,
and we do have our own fashion. Like we have our own lingo. We have our own ways of communicating. We have our own way of thinking. Like there's truly a black way of thinking. Like,
for sure.
and you sometimes could maybe myself, you feel kind of scared to think black and act black, but like then when you realize you like
Hmm.
I'm
It's just
actually
natural.
I'm really black. Like
Right.
I
Right.
try to not be so black, but I'm really black. Like
That's
I
true.
am my culture.
Mm-hmm.
And we should realize that we are Americans.
Right.
I know we like to say we're African Americans, but we're Americans.
Right. There's theories out there that we was already here.
Yeah, we were everywhere, but still, like
Literally.
you don't hear a white person in Africa, and you probably can't even put this in there because this is too much.
What?
You don't
Get
hear
that.
you just don't hear I mean maybe you do, but it's just the whole thing of like. And then what if I sound so uneducated right now? But I have a very basic way of thinking, and it's just really my way. But it's like, why are we saying things like Asian American, African American? Like like my people have been here for generations.
Well, we can prove Asian Americans as far as like their parents came from Asia and they were born in America, so they'd
Yeah,
be technically Asian
yeah. But
American.
like I think I like on my mother's side, and then her mother's side,
Mm-hmm.
and on her father's side, we able to track people here for a very long time.
Mm.
Before we were African on my mother's side, we were Native American.
Right.
I've seen pictures. So aren't shouldn't that be the case?
I feel like Native Americans for sure like have more of a right because their descendants were here already
Right,
before anybody was here.
right.
So it's fucked me up I when I was reading through history and I seen what they did to the Native Americans and stuff like that, destabilizing them, taking their culture and fucking them up and stuff like that.
Just
It's
basically being the mean kid to the.
they're colonizers. They
Yeah, like they just
colonized
basically
America.
was mean. They out meaned nice people. Yeah,
Oh,
like when COVID happened, like I had to find the conspiracy.
yeah,
I couldn't just live in the fact that we were all gonna die. And for like
that's
literally a few
cow.
weeks, I did. I lived in the reality. Like I was like, "Fuck, I'll never be able to be famous. This won't happen.
Because
That
it's
won't
shock
happen."
value. It's shock value, and I feel like almost experimentation to where okay, how is society going to react if
Yes,
we tell
that's
them
exactly what
this,
it
if
was.
we do this?
And the experiment went very well for them.
Mm. Yes,
It went very well. It
yes,
was a
it's
very
about numbers and
successful.
statistics.
It was a great experiment. But I discovered Alex Jones in it, and it gave me the sanity that I needed to.
Alex Jones.
Yeah,
Okay, have to look him up.
yeah.
Okay, how did
Infowars.com.
y'all what do y'all do basically when COVID hit? What was y'all like day to day? What y'all going
Who lived in the house?
through? Just sheltered up all day.
Lived in the house.
That makes sense. That's what mostly I did. I didn't. I wasn't a mask guy.
I mean, I
I
was
never.
doing. I didn't. I hated it too. I hated the enforcement of it. I hated the vaccine thing. I hated all of it. And
The only place I did wear a mask was at my job. If I'm at home, if I'm out in public, you can't make me wear no mask, bruv. I'm not because one, I think my immune system is different. If that's an uneducated statement, then
no, yeah, I
whatever.
felt the same way.
But I think they all did to see what the reaction of people would be if you
Right.
told them, "Hey, you're all gonna die. Y'all don't do this. Vaccinate and wear masks." You know what I'm saying? So
And then now they're releasing the actual behind, and it's like nobody don't even much care now because now they're moving on to monkeypox.
yeah,
They're doing it all over again.
annually there's like
Oh,
something they
but
tell people.
Alex Jones actually had already talked about monkeypox when COVID had first happened.
Hmm.
He was like, the next thing they're gonna do is they're gonna release images of people's skin basically bubbling and boiling. They're gonna have lesions and blisters all over them. So to see that actually going on right now, and he do talk about reptilian people and all of that. So digest what you can digest, but like, give it a listen.
Mm-hmm.
And so to see it happening right now, it's just kind of like
Right. Oh, he predicted the shit.
it just means don't involve yourself in the mass fear.
What do you just want to tell the people out there? You know what I'm saying? Americans out there. We
I
don't.
am a human.
Yeah.
So leave me alone because I am like an actual human, like, and I
Mm-hmm.
really don't care, but I do care. I care, but not that much. And so from these moments and from the transition of my life, remember that it's my life, and I got to make it
Is there
my
anyone?
experience.
Okay. Is there anyone you want to shout out?
Yeah, a band named Hickory, Chunk, Glee
Shout out to
Cafe.
Name Hickory. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, everybody.
Shout out to everybody. That's the first. People usually say they're different conglomerates, but shout out to
Shout
everybody.
out to Records Universe.
Shout out to the Records Universe, man. Y'all gotta tune in. Turn your notification on. Hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? But it has been Jazz from a band named Hickory. Very delighted to have you. Hopefully, we can have you
Same.
back next year. You know what I'm saying? And if you want to, in the means of like your album dropping, we can do it like a short interview and talk about that. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But yeah, it's been dope.
Yep.